Hello, we are so happy to have you join the College of Art and Architecture. Welcome. We're excited to have you here. I'm Dean Shauna Corey, and I'm going to go ahead and give an overview of our college and just hopefully answer some questions for you, but also just let you know that we're here to help you, and we want to be available to you at any time, and just reach out and give us a call. So in the College of Art and Architecture, you're going to be surrounded by people who love design, and people who have a passion for design, and a passion for architecture, and a passion for art. And we're founded on the Bauhaus premise, or the Bauhaus theory. And that means that we do incredible design that's also functional. And we do a lot of making and creating. And our making component really focuses in on, we have a wood shop, a tech studio. We have design build courses. Our students make furniture. Our students make products. They make artifacts. And they're designing buildings. They're designing advertising campaigns. They're designing incredible pieces of art. They're designing virtual worlds. And we all just have a great passion for this. We also are designing landscapes. So I'm going to take you through a few of information about our college and who we are, and I hope you enjoy it. So in the College of Art and Architecture, we make a living and we also make a difference. And that's one of the things that I hope that you'll understand about the careers that you're thinking about doing and the careers that you're joining us to learn about and to become proficient in, is that you'll make a difference in the world, and you'll make a positive difference in the world. And we pride ourselves on that fact. We pride ourselves that we work with real clients. We have you build real products. Our design build studio in architecture actually builds buildings. And so we're a group of doers and a group of people who are passionate about what we do. And we're excited that you decided to join us. The College of Art and Architecture strives to empower the next generation of artists and designers to positively impact the rapidly changing world. We infuse our work with empathy, storytelling, placemaking, and the utmost creativity. We have a lot of people here to help you. The university as a whole has an incredible team of people that want to see you be successful. And the college wants to see you be successful. And all your faculty wants you to be successful, and our staff. And the person I want to introduce you to now is Rebecca Nelson, and she's an incredible member of our staff, and you have probably talked with her on the phone already, or you've been sent emails by her, because she's our advisor, our college advisor. And Rebecca advises our freshmen and most of our sophomore students. And so you get to meet with her a couple times a semester or more if you need to, and Rebecca will help you determine your path as you go through the University of Idaho. And she'll, I think, give you a really firm foundation to work on as you work with your professional faculty advisors in the coming years. But you can also meet with any faculty member and talk with them about any concerns or needs you have, and just make a good plan that you can stick with. We also have Jen Smith, and she is our career liaison with the Career Center, and Jen is incredible. And we don't want you to wait until the end of your time here when you're a senior and say, oh, I need to go to meet Jen, because Jen is the person who can help you plan your career. She can go ahead and she'll help you with resume, she'll help you with internships, she'll look over your portfolio. She has workshops. Every year, our college, we have a college networking night, and we bring in a number of professionals from Seattle, Portland, Boise, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Lewis and Clarkston. They're all alums who really want to see what we've got for the new generation of designers, but they also want to help you develop your career. And so Jen will do workshops on, how to approach people in a conversation, how to break the ice, and then she does the more formal workshops where she's really trying to help you make a career plan. And so we're just really happy we have Jen with us. And then we have some starting salaries out that really depend on where you live. So if you choose to stay within the Intermountain region, your salaries will be closer to the salaries that I have up here. But if you go to a coast or to a larger urban area, then your salaries would grow accordingly. We have alums who often, they're entrepreneurial. They develop their own businesses. We have art design majors who become advertisers, and they have their own advertising company, and they have a background in illustration. We have landscape architects. Stack Rock Group in Boise is an incredible landscape architecture firm. We have architecture students who graduate and create their own firms. Same with interior architecture students, interior architecture and design students, I should say. And I'm trying to think of everybody. Our virtual technology and design students can go anywhere, literally. And we have students who work for Google and Facebook. They're all over the world, in fact. So I want to share a little bit of our student life with you. And this picture up here, you can see, is one of our graduate Master's MFA students. And they decided to make prints. And they're based on canvas, and they used a steamroller to make them. And so this is a fun afternoon on a Saturday afternoon in October, where the students made massive, large-scale prints, art prints. And in the back, you see our former president, Chuck Staben, and he's going like this. And he's doing that because he told me that running a steamroller, driving one, is really hard to learn, and sometimes it just gets away from you. And then the next thing that I want to talk with you about is the student life in terms of student organizations. And it's very important that you get involved. When you come here, we want you to be active with all the faculty, the staff, and our students. And that's what, to me, is so very enriching about being at a university, is that you have so many student organizations to choose from, and each one, they're professional, pre-professional organizations, and so they're generally, most of them are connected to a state organization and then a national organization. And because of that, you get a number of opportunities, especially if you push yourself and become a leader. And the architecture students go to, every January, they go to an architecture summit for future architect leaders. And the interior design students often go to an incredible conference in New York called Scale that really talks about humans and their environment and how we work with furniture and products and things like that. We also have, the art group is incredible. They have every year, and they're doing it this year too. Last year they did it, was for the first time, they did a project called For Freedoms. And it was during the time of the election, and they literally designed a billboard that was put up in Lewiston that everybody drove by, and it was encouraging people to vote and encouraging people to say what you think. And they made miniature billboards that we had on the admin lawn that were billboards about freedoms. And so that's just an incredible group of people who are passionate, want to change the world, and are doing it through what they love to do. And that's what will happen with all of these organizations. And then, since we live in Musco, Idaho, and we're a little isolated, we really try to have great speakers come in. And every program head and every student group really tries to bring in incredible people that are inspirational. I remember when I was an undergrad at Utah State University years ago, a long time ago, that I remember going into a big auditorium and sitting and seeing an artist put up his work. And it was incredible work. It was fun work because it was an artist who took photographs in national parks, but they weren't of like all the cool scenery. It was about what people do in parks and you know, what kind of pictures they might take. And so, you know, it was pictures of the inside of a car and you could see the roof because somebody accidentally took a picture like that. But what that gentleman did is make me start thinking about how to think about things differently. And that's what one of the best things that we can do is to help us look to the future and help you to think about things. And they're still your opinions, they're still what you think, but you're able to be critical and look at things differently. And that helps you be a better designer, it helps you be an informed designer, and it helps you be more successful in your job. We also like to do firm tours, and this is when I was a faculty member, this is one of my favorite things to do. Taking students to Seattle, Boise, we have a faculty member who've taken students to LA, to Chicago, to New York. It really depends on the faculty member and the kind of project they're running. So if they're focusing on art and museum design in one of their experience design classes, they might go to a number of different museums in Seattle and see incredible work and really talk about the experience people have in those museums and how those museums are designed to help people have certain experiences. So that's really kind of, I think, an exciting thing. We also have architecture trips that focus on seeing new and historic designs, and firm tours, or firm crawls is what the landscape students call them. And what it is they go to a city, they do a couple of tours of some incredible new designs, and then they go ahead and they go to a number of firms in one day. And they get to meet the principals of the firms, they get to meet our alumni who are currently working in those firms, and they get to see what it looks like to be on a daily kind of business or job. This is just an example of that. We have the Seattle Public Library that was actually, it's designed by Rem Koolhaus, but one of our alums, Bob Zimmer, in architecture, was the local architect on this. And so he had the opportunity to work with an international architect and create an incredible space that is Seattle's living room. And then this is a group of interior design students that there was a portfolio competition for the regional group, and they won it, and so they got free trips to New York to go to an incredible conference, and they learned a lot about what they'll be doing, but they also were able to meet a number of people and have some great networking opportunities. Now, one of the key things about our college is studio culture. We spend a lot of time in the studio. Sometimes students live in the studio, but our buildings are open 24 hours a day, and each student has their student ID, and it's a card swipe. They can swipe into any of the buildings, and we have a computer center that's open 23 hours a day, and so you have access to an environment that you feel comfortable in, that you are surrounded by peers who can help you, and also you have space to work. And so we have art studios, we have virtual technology and design studios, we have architecture studios, interior design studios, we have landscape architecture studios. So we have over 6 buildings on campus, and we're the smallest college. But because we have such a strong studio culture, we have to have space for everyone to create and make. And that's what we do really well. And these are some of our faculty members. And so I just want to briefly introduce you. They're faculty members, but they're also our program heads. And so we have Randy Till, who is the program head for architecture. We have Greg Turner-Rahman, who's the program head for art and design, and that's fine art as well as graphic illustration experience design. And then we have Dr. Rula Wood-Rafferty, and she is interior architecture and design. And we recently changed our name. This is our first year we've been called interior architecture and design. And we changed our name because it's more reflective of what our students who graduate in that major do. They take the first 2 years along with the architecture students, and they continue learning about environmental control systems, architecture history, professional practice. So they have a different focus than what sometimes people consider interior design is. And we wanted our name to really reflect that change. Then we have John Anderson, who's the program head and co-founder of the Virtual Technology and Design program. And this program has an incredible focus on art and designing virtual worlds, but they also have a very strong focus in research. They're currently doing research with a National Science Foundation project where they're modeling cells in biology. We have a faculty member who works with the Max Planck Institute in Germany every summer. He focuses on doing modeling of what might happen with certain viruses. And so they have the very art focus, they have the digital focus, and then they have the research focus. And they meld it together incredibly well. And they are always doing work with clients, real clients that they sign contracts with. And then they're also doing an incredible amount of service learning. That's one of the things that the college does very well, all programs. We partner with communities. We partner with organizations in communities. We partner with businesses in communities. And we do a design with them. And that design generally moves them forward. It could be a restaurant. It could be a community partner that's a nonprofit that needs some visioning for what they'll look like in the future. Maybe they're wanting to build a new building, or maybe they want to make their interior space accessible with universal design. We work with Lapway, which is I guess you could say the major city center of the Nez Perce tribe. And we've been working with them for years on visioning what that city can look like or what that town can look like in the future. And so those are the most exciting projects, I think. You get to talk to real people. You get to find out what their needs are. You get to analyze the existing space. You need to look at precedents and go forward with those and create a design that really can change lives. And that's what I think is the most exciting part about service learning. And then we have Beth Scott, and Beth is the landscape architecture program head. And Beth is based in Boise, because one of the things about our college is that we have a campus here in Moscow, but we also are part of the campus in Boise at the Boise Center. And we have the Urban Design Center down there, and we have architecture and landscape architecture there. And they do incredible projects in the Boise area. They partner with the National Forest Service, and look at issues like transportation within a national park. They just really do some incredible work. Again, service learning. And the great thing about the Boise experience is it's designed for the graduate students to do internships. So you can be in an area where you can get internships easily or more easily, and you can work part-time and you can go to school part-time. We also have, for the Boise experience, we have interior design, interior architecture and design, and architecture the first 2 years. So freshman and sophomore can also start in Boise. And we have the first year of landscape architecture in Boise. And that's an incredible opportunity. If you're from that area, from the Treasure Valley, you can stay there and keep your job, live with your family, save some money, and you'll do 2 years in Boise, and then you'll move up to Moscow to finish your degree. So I want to talk just a little bit about some of our alums. And, you know, we have a Vandal family, but we also have a CAA family. And we're connected, and we're connected with people for life. And so we take great pride in our alums. We're so happy for them. And I personally love to see them grow in their careers and grow in their families and their community as they move on. I often have students who graduate ask to be on my Facebook, and so I keep track of them. They're on my LinkedIn, and I get to see how they move up in their careers. When they get a promotion, I get to see what great jobs they're working on. I get to see when they decide to have a partner and get married and have a family. And I think that's really, I'm not the only person who does that. We have so many faculty who really, and staff, who really care about our students. And we're excited for you, we're happy for you, and we want to see you be a success, and we're going to help you be a success. The first one is Nicole Kaler. And Nicole is a landscape architecture graduate, and she has a job in Coeur d'Alene, and she's actually working with a group called Coeur d'Alene 2030, which is determining what Coeur d'Alene will look like in the year 2030. How many open spaces will there be? What will the traffic look like? What are the vision for the future of Coeur d'Alene? And so that's an exciting job for her to get right out of college. Then we have Byron Green, and he graduated in 2017. And Byron is a very hands-on craftsperson. And he actually is from a family in California that are the very famous architects called the Green and Green, or Green and Green architects. And they have designed some incredible structures historically in California. And Byron wants to be a master craftsperson. And so for his capstone or thesis project for his master's degree, Byron actually designed the TEDx design studio set that was held in Boise. And now he's continued to learn more about wood shops and technology, and he's creating his career based on understanding the importance of craft. And then this is Shogo Auto, and he has his BFA. He owns his own firm in Seattle called the Tireman Studio. And Shogo was asked to design, he paints windows for Starbucks. And a few years ago, he was given the, or awarded the contract to design the Starbucks holiday cup. And so all over the world, people were drinking out of a cup that Shogo designed. And then we have Lindsey Vincent, and Lindsey is a designer with Disney Imagineering. And Lindsey was an incredible student. She was one of my students. I learned a lot from Lindsey, and Lindsey brought so much to our college, and she was an incredible student leader. And I was her advisor, and she said, Shauna, I really want to go work for Disney. And they have an internship that's nationwide. Students go down to Florida, and they work at the Walt Disney Company, and Lindsey wanted to do that. And normally the internships last 6 months. So Lindsey took her internship for 6 months, and then they extended it for a year. Then they hired her permanently, and they hired her in as a retail design manager. And her job was to help design the Shanghai Disney Park. So Lindsey moved to Shanghai for 2 years. She worked on all the retail designs within the park. And when she returned, she was named one of the top retail designers in the nation under 30. So that was pretty exciting. Lindsey now is moved to Disney Imagineering, and I'm just looking forward to see what she does next. And then I have to talk to you about Ted. Ted Mayer got his degree in his undergraduate degree, bachelor's in interior design and architecture, and then he got his master's of architecture in 2005. And Ted did an internship in New York, and he's worked for a number of his hospitality firms in New York. And now he's the vice president of hospitality design for Virgin. So you might recognize the person in the middle is Richard Branson, president of Virgin Incorporated. And so Ted works with a team. He leads a team they do hospitality design around the world. And he's recently done some work in Las Vegas. He does work everywhere. And so that's something that is his passion and that he's continued to move forward with. And now he's a leader and a recognized leader with that skill. And then this is Matt Leffert. And Matt, we actually brought back as a major guest speaker a few years ago because Matt got his degree in virtual technology and design, and he was a non-traditional student. And so Matt, after he graduated, he worked in Spokane for a while, and then he worked at a computer firm. Then he moved to Boise, and he was working in Boise and doing really good work. And Matt really just decided he wanted to try Hollywood. So he packed up his family in a U-Haul. He didn't have a job. He and his wife and their kids drove to LA, and he started knocking on doors. And he was lucky enough to get some incredible opportunities, and he's good enough to get some incredible opportunities. And he won an Emmy for American Horror Story Freak Show. And so the fact that he had just graduated maybe 5 years and he was winning an Emmy is pretty cool. So in the College of Art and Architecture, we also have some incredible international programs that have been developed by our faculty and are also in partnership with other universities. And so we have a long-standing architecture studio that's actually taught in Rome by Matt Brown. And the students move to Rome, they live in apartments in Rome, and they study in Rome, and they spend an entire semester there. And that's a transformational experience for our students. A lot of our students are from small rural towns, and to be able to live in an incredible historic urban area for an entire semester is an incredible learning experience. We also have a China trip, and the China studio is truly a studio, and what we try to do with our trips is all of them equal credit for your classes. And so it's not as if this is just an extra. It's built into your program, your yearly map of what you're going to do. And you have a choice. You don't have to do this, but we really encourage you to think about having an international experience. And so for the China international experience, the students actually work with other Chinese students or Chinese students in different cities in China. They go to a university, they do a combined project together, and that's an incredible experience for them to learn about another culture, and then also about how to work with people who perhaps speak a different language, or they may speak some English, but it may not be that well developed. And so we really look at this as a great global experience for our students to get that education, culture, and experience. Then we also have a longstanding Italy trip for landscape architecture. And they do incredible work. They actually live in a historic Italian town. Our faculty member, Raffaella, is from Italy. And they spend time in her home where she was born and raised. And they learn about, again, the culture of landscapes. And they do landscape design. And the work that they bring back really has an understanding of sense of place and history, and the depth of what the students can get into a semester, and then how well they can communicate what they learned in their designs really show me that this is an important part of our college. We have a university in Florence, Italy, who we have interior design students go to. And they spend a semester in Florence studying at the university, and they study with students from all over the world. The trip to England is a study tour of England that focuses on sustainability and green design. And the students work with international firms. They do a design charrette with international firms in Italy, and they travel through Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and England, really learning about the importance of sustainability, resiliency, and green design. So I really want to thank you for taking the time to learn about the College of Art and Architecture. We are so happy you're coming to join us in the fall. We are excited to have you with us. We'll be happy to see you. We'll be happy to meet you and talk with you and work with you and help you continue in your career and deciding what you want to do and learning the skills that will make you successful in the future. So don't hesitate to give me a call. Don't hesitate to contact our office. We're here to help you be successful, and we really want you to remember that. So thank you.